This is TechCrunch. Rocket Lab is signaling to investors, yet again, that it's more than just a rocket company. Rocket Lab's second quarter results, which were posted Thursday, show revenues continue to be driven by its space systems business rather than launch. The results also highlighted the company's acquisition strategy and how its purchase of a new optical payloads company will make it more competitive for lucrative government contracts. The company's space systems brought in $97.9 million of the $144.5 million in total revenues for the second quarter. Rocket Lab's total revenue, its highest quarterly revenue in the company's history, jumped 36% from a year ago. The company's net loss widened to $66.4 million. Rocket Lab founder and CEO Peter Beck highlighted the busy quarter of M&A activity as the company gets close to closing its deal to buy Geost, a company that builds optical payloads. Through that acquisition, which will close at $275 million in cash and equity, Rocket Lab is opening a new business unit called Optical Systems to scale electro-optical and infrared sensor manufacturing. Those sensors are used in missile warning, tracking, and space domain awareness. The acquisition is also one part of a larger play from Rocket Lab, spelled out quite explicitly in the company's earnings presentation, to bid for multi-billion-dollar DoD initiatives like Golden Dome. Rocket Lab has already won some major defense contracts, including a $515 million 18-satellite build contract to support the Space Development Agency's constellation of missile tracking satellites. The company has moved into production on those satellites following confirmation that they meet the DoD's mission requirements, Rocket Lab said. Down on Earth, Rocket Lab says it's progressing well toward the first launch of its larger Neutron rocket. The rocket's launch complex in Virginia is expected to be complete in the third quarter of this year, with hardware en route and the new rocket engine, called Archimedes, undergoing multiple tests per day. The company is staying vague about the exact launch date, saying only in the presentation that it is pushing an all-out effort to get Neutron to the launch pad before the end of 2025. Rocket Lab ended the quarter with $564 million in cash and cash equivalents and estimates revenues will hit between $145 million to $155 million next quarter. Openvibe, an app that allows you to follow open social networks like Blue Sky, Mastodon, Threads, and Nostr in one place, is now expanding its functionality so you can follow your favorite news sites and blogs too. To do so, the startup is adding support for RSS, really simple syndication or news feeds, an open standard that allows you to subscribe to automatic updates from websites like news articles or blog posts. The addition makes Openvibe more useful for keeping up with your interests and other important information without having to switch between multiple news readers, websites, or social networking apps. The new feature also puts Openvibe in more direct competition with other social media and content aggregators that track updates from across the open web. These competitors include Tapestry, the new app from the company that once built a popular Twitter client known as Twitterrific, Feed, an RSS reader that supports tracking social profiles on Mastodon, YouTube, and other platforms, and Surf, a new open social app and browser from the makers of Flipboard. Openvibe CEO Matej Sponsor says RSS support was always part of the app's longer-term roadmap since its launch last year. However, the feature was heavily requested by their user base, so the team prioritized its development, he says. To use the feature, you can choose to add RSS sources one by one, check the app's suggested sites, and tap follow on those you want to track, or import your entire OPML file from another news reader. After more people adopt RSS, Openvibe will introduce a leaderboard that shows the most added feeds to help direct users to popular sources. Once added, you can track the RSS updates in the app's combined home feed or in the dedicated RSS feed, or you can add the RSS feeds to your own custom feed. While RSS can also be used to track podcasts and YouTube channels, Openvibe isn't yet focused on those formats, Sponsor tells TechCrunch. It may be technically possible to add them in the app today, but it won't offer a good user experience, he explains, unless you don't mind having to open each item in a browser. With news and blogs, however, Openvibe opens content directly within the app using a clean, distraction-free reading mode. If you prefer to visit the websites in a browser, you can change this setting. Plus, the app offers a performance mode toggle that will turn off image loading in the timeline previews to make the feature even less resource intensive. The company has been testing the RSS feature ahead of launch with just over 100 people who have, combined, added over 4,000 feeds. RSS support is now available in Openvibe's iOS and Android apps. The app remains free to download without in-app purchases for now, but the company plans to introduce a subscription offering in the future. The startup is currently backed by a small amount of funding from Czech founders VC, Tensor Ventures, and Automatic, the parent company for WordPress.com, Tumblr, Bleeper, and others. That's all for now. For more stories like this one, visit TechCrunch.com.